Hello and welcome to Scrapping on the Fly. My name is Kristen and I am here with Mix It Up Monday, a hop started by Anna at Peace Craft Love and Kimberly at I'd Rather Be Scrapbooking. And Kimberly actually created this sketch for us. And we just take this sketch and mix it up and do our thing. And typically we add some mixed media and different things. There are lots of layers in this layout, and I've decided to scrapbook this picture of me. And in the sketch there are two bigger pictures and a small one and then a journaling space. But I'm actually going to do one big picture and two small pictures and a bigger space for the journaling. And so that's one way of mixing it up. And I've decided to use this pink paisley Paige Evans Whimsical. And I have the 6x6 paper pad. And then I also have the thicker set that neither one have been touched. And then I have this American Crafts paper, which obviously goes with this collection as well. It is just regular paper. It's not cardstock. And I had these other two that I pulled out as well, just in case I needed bigger layers, but decided I am going to put those aside and use them at another time. So I am going to mat this on a piece of cardstock because it is thin. And I'm going to use my Distress Grit Paste in Opaque by Tim Holzer, Ranger. And I also have my toolkit, which is something that I got with my Distress Grit, and I'm super excited. So I have lots of plans to use that 6x6 for all my layers. So I've got my papers, my mixed media, my embellishments in this picture, and of course this awesome sketch. So let's see how this goes. So I went through the 6x6 paper pad, and I've never used it, but it's not in a pad anymore. Long story. So I picked the papers I want to use, and I know I want to use this one that matches that big 12 by 12, which is now an 11.5 by 11.5 matted on a light blue cardstock. And so I cut that, and then I pick papers that are bold and dark, because if they're not, they're going to disappear into this really busy paper. And it is a very busy layout. So I mat my picture of me in the box on a 4 1/4 by 4 1/4, and I mat this paper that came from the 6x6 paper pad. It's also 4 by 4 like my picture. I mat it on a 4 1/4 by 4 1/4 in that reddish, almost reddish orange color. And that way I know they're going to stand out. And then I just use different papers and I just cut them to where they look like they're going to be extended throughout, but they're obviously not because they're only 6 inches tall. So, and I'm getting it just laid out on the page so that I know what it's going to look like, see where I need things, and see where I want to put my mixed media. I have an idea of where I'm going to put it, but I want to make sure it's going to fit what I want to do. And I'm going to mat those two small pictures when the time comes. But for right now, I'm just looking at placement. So I decided to flip the banners that are up there because I used the colored paper from the paper mat. And I don't want them disappearing into the paper that they're underneath. All right, so this is the time where I get out my Tim Holtz Distress Grit Paste. And I have not used it before, obviously. And then I just get a palette knife and I smear some on. I don't put it through a stencil. I just smear it in kind of a circular fashion. And I did get some washi tape that came from the dollar store. It doesn't stick for very long, so I knew it would come up. And put it down on the blue because I didn't want the texture paste on the blue. I just wanted to get it on the pattern paper. So I kind of do it in a circular fashion because in Kimberly's sketch, she's got a circle right there. And then I get one of these texture tools and I just scrape like a circular motion with that, which is going to leave some ridges in what I laid down. And then I did it on the bottom portion. And like I said, in her sketch, there's two circular elements in the top left and the bottom right. And that is what I am doing with this, is using that as my circular area. And I just get out my Delusions Vanilla Custard Ink Spray, and I use a paintbrush and just paint on that color. And I color matched it with the yellowy color that is in this layout first, so it would kind of go, I just didn't want it to be solid white. I wanted it to have some color to it. I did not let it dry though. I'm not a professional, so don't necessarily follow my lead. It was not dry when I painted it, so some of it came off on my brush, which is totally fine. I didn't care. But just, watch YouTube videos. Maybe not mine. If you're looking for the right way to do it, I don't know. So I actually got my T-ruler out to make sure these were even. Yeah, well, I end up having to pull them because it would have been smart to use my ruler to also measure that there needed to be an 8.5 by an 8.5 space in between. Yeah. So I get the first picture down, and then I go to lay the other one down, which I'm going to put journaling space on and embellish. But yeah, it totally covers those up. So I have to take them off and move them, which is fine. But, I guess I should have done some measuring, but I am typically a fly by the seat of my pants kind of person, henceforth scrapping on the fly. But, so after being so smart and to get out my T-ruler, it almost was for nothing, and that's okay. So I just use my adhesive runner for the most part, unless it's going to go on top of any of the mixed media. I make sure to add some of the Nuvo Deluxe adhesive. So I get my layers on there, and then I want to work on those little banners over there that are on the right. And I want my pictures matted, so I mat them on that black butterfly paper because it's the only thing that I haven't used a lot of. And so I just I measure that out and then decide, since I want them to look exactly the same, I lay the other one on top and then just put the picture to where it is even with the other picture. So now they are pretty much identical in their shape and how they're sitting on the little banner I cut. And so I'm just going to put those, they actually overlap in the picture, and I put them over too far, so I have to pull that one back up and move it over, which is fine. But, you live and you learn, and that's just the way that I scrapbook, so, it's fine. And it overlays on top of some of that texture paste, which I'm okay with. I knew it was going to happen because that was part of the way this sketch looked. And so I am happy with the way this looks. And so then I get out my whimsical thickers and open them up and see what I want to use. So I decide to put the title up here where it actually calls for the title. And it's just a little banner that says Dream, Plan, Create. And it's in an orangey color, which is in all the papers as well as the background paper. And so it is also very similar to the red that's in that little banner over there on the left. So then I just pull off just some different things. So the first thing I did was add a little, like a jar full or a cup full of like colored pencils or crayons or something. And because I felt like that title up there needed something with it. And I'm going to add something else in a little bit as well. And then I get a journaling card and I cut it off and then I ink it with my Distress Black Soot by Ranger. And I tuck that in behind the pictures a little so that it's not covering all of that little mat that I have there, but that it's got enough space for me to make a journaling note. And then I have this little bunny rabbit, which the bunny rabbit does not really have much to do with anything, but it says, believe you can, and you're halfway there. And I thought that was perfect, so I put it down there in the bottom left of my bigger picture. And I put that there because I packed this box to take on vacation so that I could scrapbook not only on vacation at the beach house, but in the car. And that is what I'm really documenting, is that I was being creative and my scrapbook juices needed to continue to flow while I was on vacation. So I packed a box that I was able to work in the car and then when I got to the beach house as well. So that is what I'm documenting. So then the other thing that I do on here is in her sketch, There are 4 different places that have clusters of 3, and one is right next to the piece up at the top where the title is, over to the right of the title. And so I just put 3 little things on there, and they're kind of like little stitching spots. Some of them look like buttons. I use a heart in the top right corner. The other spot is the bottom left corner below where I put that bunny. And then there's also one between the 2 pictures over on the towards the middle of the page. And I don't put the little thickers there because there's not enough space. So I do pull out my enamel accents by Ranger, and I put those in that little space, but I have not done that yet. That's later. So after I get all these embellishments on, I am happy with the way things are looking, but I still thought there was something missing up here at the top. So I use these scissors, and there's gold throughout this layout in little bits and pieces on some of the papers. And so the gold scissors perfectly bring that gold to the top of the page as well. So now I have the gold scissors at the top. There's a little gold heart at the top right corner. And then there's a gold heart in the bottom left corner. So I've got that triangle, and I believe actually there is some gold around that little bunny rabbit. So then I have this tape dispenser. It's also gold, and I didn't want to make a big 4-way like a square with the gold. So I went ahead and put it up at the top. It will bring some color other than that black and the butterflies to the top right corner. And like I said, there's already a gold heart up there. So that works out good. And then I start journaling, and I just wrote, I didn't want to go days without scrapbooking, so I made a kit for the car and the beach house. That's dedication. And then there are the accents, enamel accents that I got from Joann Fabrics, and I really do like them. They're not dimensional like Nuvo or Stickles, but they add that extra little pop, and I have them in black and white, and I really do love them, and they dry pretty quick as well. So I put 3 dots down there on that banner as well, just so there was not just some random 3 dots in the middle, and that was it. And I considered putting some up at the top left, but there's really nowhere to put them. Although now looking, I may put them in the same place on that banner. We'll see. Anyway, you're not going to see that in this video. So I am just continuing to use the black soot to ink anything that is not going to stand out. And so I felt like I needed some little wordy bits on here somewhere. So one of the papers in the 6x6 paper pad is just a bunch of words. And one of the branding strips had a couple that fit perfectly. One that says just go for it, and one that said make things. And so I cut those out of the branding strip. And then I got the little 6x6 paper that has all the different words, and I cut out sunshine and good times ahead because we are headed to the beach. And there's one on there that says sparkle and shine, but that also came from the branding strip. And then the other one that I added that I thought was the most perfect says maker's gonna make, and I put that right underneath my the picture of me, the small picture of me holding the box sitting in the car. And I ink any of them that do not go on dark paper. Or, well, most of them got inked anyway because I wasn't sure where they were going. But I inked them with the black soot just so they would stand out if they were on a light color. So, and then I just used the Nuvo Deluxe to add those to the layout. And then I think that that's like going to wrap most of this up because I felt like it was so super busy with all the different florals and paper. There's no, well, I mean, there's florals on the paper, but there's no, I didn't add flowers. Oh, you all, it's been a weird day. So anyway, I considered doing some splatters. I considered a couple of other different things, but I really just liked the way it looked and felt like all these papers are super, super busy. I am not a pattern paper person. I have never used so much pattern paper my entire life as I have in the last year and a half since I have started really getting into daily scrapbooking since January 2021. And I can say thanks to Anne-Marie from Scrapbooking the Day Away on Facebook and scrapbookingwithanemarie.com, which is her website, and you should join if you're looking for scrappy, happy people. I hope that you will go down below and check out Anna and Kimberly and all the other awesome creatives who are going to be doing this Mix It Up Monday with this great sketch that Kimberly from I'd Rather Be Scrapbooking created. It is awesome. Lots of layers. I will be using this sketch again. And I guess that's about it. So I hope you all will join me again tomorrow for another May I Scrap Lift You. And I'll see you again very soon. Have a great day and happy scrapping.